To cut you into profit.
But Sean Raz from Raz Radio.
Yeah, he's from Raz Radio. Raz is our guy. I mean, you're Sean Mother Effin' Raz.
Here come the butchers to cut you into profit.
I went to Raz. I went to Raz right now. Where is Mother Effin' Raz?
Join me, Sean Raz, for the first 52. Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. RazRadioLive.com. The simple power of two.
Being a cat can be damn tedious. People dangling bells and bits of string in your face all the time. Just be a dog. Run around, catch frisbees, pee on a fire hydrant. Life's more rewarding, and you get access to lots of treats. Catch Salty Talk Mondays and Wednesdays, and every Friday for Salty's Weekend Warm-Up, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Add a little salt to your life, and be more dog.
Gemini, Judas the twin has come to testify that we're all students within. I study scrolls from the library of Ned Hammadi, discovered in 1945 by Muhammad Ali. Also books that were unearthed within the Qumran community, as many fight to shield the truth and try to keep it from you and me. Ancient secrets that were first toppled on an Egyptian plateau that would one day find themselves underneath Rennes chateau. Knowledge once buried, info carried from Solomon's temple. Stories vary, some of them scary, but all of them simple. Look into my eyes, there's no surprise that I've got a slight temper towards the lies in disguise of the modern day Knights Templar. Realize from the size of the recognized architecture that the wise have hidden lies that can hypnotize and spark a lecture. I don't need to preach, but to teach that each founding father dreamed in prophecy and demonocracy should have been drowned in water. From King George VI passing his town and crown to his daughter, as many climate degrees drop her to the knees, bowing down to her garter. How many times, how many rhymes, how many...
It's time for a TF52 flashback.
Here's the thing about Bob, right?
What about Bob?
Bob, you know I'm trying to quit this radio show for years now, right? Bob is the only one.
The guy sits on the radio. I've been trying
We duct taped him to a chair so he can't leave.
Right, yeah, I live like fucking 15 minutes away now. I can't quit the show, right? Couldn't quit it fucking 2 countries away. Anyway, Bob is the only one that I've seen that's coming along. You know, because when am I bitching about doing the show? It's like nobody fucking gives a shit about what
I know. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
But Bob's
because he's a stubborn man.
Yeah, Bob's starting to see the way, man. Bob's going. Yeah, he's starting bucking the system. You know, he's rejecting what he had thought was right, and we've all gone down this path, I think.
We all go through that path eventually.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that, you know, somebody is just bucking.
Just paying the fuck attention. Just pay attention.
Just bucking.
Listen, we're not always right. Unfortunately,
right.
We've been proven right on a lot of fucking things that we don't want to be proven right on.
About the wrong things.
Yeah, and I hate being right about the wrong things, but it takes time. FEMA camps, they're real. They're real. They're putting the kids in them right now.
That was fucking surprising when I just went down that rabbit hole. What, this morning or yesterday?
This morning, I think.
Yeah, I was like, all right, so it's a home office of fucking whatever they call it. And I'm like, let's read up on this office. First of all, oddly enough, these offices of immigration were all voluntary, right? It was voluntarily funded, and then the government took over, right? And then the government took over and just got more and more, and then it became a part of this whole house, which the Department of Homeland Security
always has to put their fucking dick in.
Fuck, there's the connection to FEMA, right? And I was like, that motherfucker was right, because you know I'm always fighting you on certain things, but certain things you always plant the thought in my head, right?
And then it comes around. It's like the self-driving cars. It's like everything else. And you know what? Four toes, chemtrails eventually, brother.
I know that goddamn rats.
We started out cool, just wasting time. Partying on the weekends behind neon signs. Throwing darts, playing pong, and hustling pool games. Dancing as the jukebox DJ of the band played our favorite songs. Then I'd wake up in the morning on my neighbor's lawn and notice you'd be gone. I I searched for you in the bottom of a bottle. Cause of you I lost my job down to my last few dollars. So you're hard to swallow, pun intended. I guess I love the taste from you since the beginning. Many times I tried to end it, but I just couldn't give up. Upon the title to my pickup, hoping you picked me up. But you let me down like you always did. I finally asked for help from my family and friends. You caused a lot of pain, grief and mayhem. Now I'm 11 steps away in a 12-step program. Every time I pass them neon signs, it takes me back and you cross my mind thinking, I don't know how long I'll make it out here on my own. Cause I've been gone for way too long from the comfort of your arms. And I don't know that I'll ever feel the way you made me feel now that you're gone. Well, I'll make it on my own. I check in from time to time and tell my exes I miss them. Melanie got married to a man that hits her. Stephanie turned stripper. Angie became an addict. Turns tricks in the alley to support her habits. Ain't got nothing on Sally. Sally's got 5 kids, 5 baby daddies. She's tatted to her eyelids. Can't tell her what high is, what a meth lab fire is. She blew her whole house up and lost all 5 kids. 3 to the state, and 2 to the morgue. Patricia became a preacher, gave her life to the Lord. But she still don't approve of my bad ways. Never gave me for the music or the things I say. Guess it's apparent she ain't following Jesus. Jesus never judge a priest of false as they teach us. How they expect to reach us with the life they living. You only find them in the bleachers when they team is winning. Meanwhile, we stay believers when evil defeats us. Left to find a way home on our own. Singing, I don't know how long I'll make it out here on my own. Cause I've been gone for way too long from the comfort of your arms. And I moved on since you walked out. And I get up when I fall down on my own. I'll make it on my own. Sometimes it gets tough and I just wanna give up, but I just do the best I can. I'll just take what I'm given and keep on living. Cause that's the measure of a man. I don't know how long I'll make it out here on my own. Cause I've been gone for way too long from the comfort of your arms. And I don't know that I'll ever feel the way you make me feel now that you're gone. Yeah, I'll make it on my own. Cause I moved on since you walked out. And I get up when I fall down on my own. I'll make it on my own.
Your bouncing like a robo, I'll expose the ill Freemasons. Your bouncing like a robo, I'll expose the ill Freemasons. Gemini, Judas the twin. Your bouncing like a robo, I'll expose the ill Freemasons. Has come to testify that we're all students within. I study scrolls from the library of Nag Hammadi, discovered in 1945 by Muhammad Ali. Also books that were unearthed within the Qumran community, as many fight to shield the truth and try to keep it from you and me. Ancient secrets that were forced topple an Egyptian plateau that would one day find themselves underneath Rennes chateau. Knowledge once buried, info carried from Solomon's temple. Stories vary, some of them scary, but all of them simple. Look into my eyes, there's no surprise that I've got a slight temper towards the lies in disguise of the modern day Knights Templar. Realize from the size of the recognized architecture that the wise have hidden lies that can hypnotize and spark a lecture. I don't mean to preach, but to teach that each founding father dream and prophecy and demonocracy should have been drowned in water. From King George VI passing his town and crown to his daughter, as many climate degrees drop her to the knees, bowing down to her garter. How many times, how many rhymes, how many crimes need to be committed till you'll admit that they were behind it? Don't be blinded or narrow-minded. Become one of the Pharaoh kind kids, posing Freemasons from America's commander-in-chief. The Nova Scotia's Alexander Keith, like Captain Morgan, the panhandler and thief. So what's more important than a Mayan calendar belief? Exposing Freemasons from America's commander-in-chief. The Nova Scotia's Alexander Keith, like Captain Morgan, the panhandler and thief. So what's more important than a Mayan calendar belief? You better make sure that the laces of your Pumas are tight, cause if the rumors are right, the Loomis and Knight have got the baby boomer consumers in fright with their continuous bright, luminous light. You better make sure that the laces of your Pumas are tight, cause if the rumors are right, the Loomis and Knight have got the baby boomer consumers in fright with their continuous bright, luminous light. get an actual pleasure exposing Disney's national treasure. Somebody pinch me. Everybody's trying to decipher the code of Da Vinci. Sacred geometry, math that you measure. Hard technology is some laugh at the weather. From their chapters and their lodges, men act as if they know who God is. They're the hidden hand, take a forbidden land, never giving a damn if you sit or stand. They spit on men. How many times, how many rhymes, how many crimes need to be committed till you'll admit that they were behind it? Don't be blinded or narrow-minded. Become one of the Pharaoh kind kids, posing Freemasons from America's commander-in-chief. The Nova Scotia's Alexander Keith, like Captain Morgan, the panhandler and thief. So what's more important than a Mayan calendar belief? Exposing Freemasons from America's commander-in-chief. The Nova Scotia's Alexander Keith, like Captain Morgan, the panhandler and thief. So what's more important than a Mayan calendar belief? They brought Cleopatra's needles to the real axis of evil. Rebuilt St. Paul's Cathedral to become Jerusalem's equal. In times of medieval, great minds that are deceitful, grapevines that are more lethal than hate crimes upon the people. Like the often forgotten cards of Akhenaten's guard. There's no stopping these topics that are dropping like shotgun shards. Directed towards the so-called prophets of Scotland Yard, who taught me the arts by unlocking charts and filling their shopping carts. Come on, we've all seen the surface disguised as greedy merchants, erecting the obelisk penis perfect so they can feed us worship. Never really releasing their grip, as Miss Liberty's allowed to introduce her whip and reinterpret his story into pure shit. There is a list of men from Francis Bacon to Christopher Wren. And since I can no longer put my fist into them, I choose to get pissed with the pen. Now tell me, have y'all been listening? How many times, how many rhymes, how many crimes need to be committed till you'll admit that they were behind it? Don't be blinded or narrow-minded. Become one of the Pharaoh kind kids, posing Freemasons from America's commander-in-chief. The Nova Scotia's Alexander Keith, like Captain Morgan, the panhandler and thief. So what's more important than a Mayan calendar belief? Exposing Freemasons from America's commander-in-chief. The Nova Scotia's Alexander Keith, like Captain Morgan, the panhandler and thief. So what's more important than a Mayan calendar belief? Exposing Freemasons from America's commander-in-chief. The Nova Scotia's Alexander Keith, like Captain Morgan, the panhandler and thief.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Haha, just the truth, we say. It is Tuesday, August 21st, 2018. Of course, sitting over to my left is my lovely wife, Lexi. How you doing, honey?
Doing great.
You doing good?
Yep.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week. It's been an interesting day. Things aren't sounding right to me.
It's not, yeah. I can't hear myself think. Just turn that.
We'll get it fixed. Don't worry. We put Lexi back in her normal spot, so everything's not adjusted quite right. Everything's weird. Four Toad sitting over nowhere.
Dave's not here.
He's not here tonight. He's babysitting pussy. Cats.
Cats.
He's watching some cats, so.
Oh, this is so weird sounding.
You're not on your hotspot. Pretty sure that's probably what it is. You are?
I'm right in front of it.
Okay. Well, maybe there's just too much noise in the background. I got to readjust your settings because I did move your mic again. So you're on a different pot. That might be why it doesn't sound right.
You keep moving me around.
I know. Well, I hate moving you around, but I can see you better here and then there, and it's just you and I tonight.
It's all good.
So, like I said, Dave's not here. We got a lot to talk about, though, so it's really not that big of a deal. We do miss the four-toed one anytime he's not joining us. But, sometimes people have stuff to do. They have to deal with life and just things in general. So that's what we'll do. We'll deal without Dave. Honey, how was your week? Weekend, from Tuesday to Tuesday. I know I got to explain that to you every week. But how has your week been?
Well, first off, it's my fault we started the show off late.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of heat.
I was running late from work. My bad.
Forgot about something that had to be picked up, so.
Just be quiet. Yeah, I apologize. That was nice of me. But yeah, good week all around.
That's good. Yeah, it's been an interesting one.
Did a lot of stuff.
I was off Friday and Saturday, or Friday, of course, Saturday. Friday and Monday. Friday, if you go to my Facebook page, you can see some of the reports that Four Toed One and I did from the polluted waters of our area here. We just went out to check and see what the conditions were like. We're still fighting this red tide. We still have dead animals washing up on the beach, being found all over the place. It's really just a horrible situation we're dealing with here, and hopefully we can get it fixed here in the near future.
Yep.
We're
hoping. Hope in one hand.
Yeah, shit in the other. See what fills up first, right? That is what they say. Well, we keep seeing more and more. I gotta find the story here. Go through all my tabs. I had it pulled up. I thought I put it right in the beginning because I wanted to lead with this one.
You should put them in order in one spot.
Sure, there's a lot of things I could do that I should do that I would love to do, but unfortunately, I don't always have the time to do them.
Make your life easier.
Of course it would. I could also prep the show, a lot sooner and make it a lot better, but I don't have the time sometimes. I've been really stressed out today. We almost didn't do a show. It was funny because I posted that blah, blah, blah thing. I've had a rough day today in general. So I posted that blah, blah, blah thing, right? And I had intended on canceling the show tonight. That was my intention when I posted that. I don't really cancel very often. I got a lot of things on my mind. I didn't know if I could produce a well-rounded, well-done show.
Do we ever do that?
We try. I mean, it is a goal to try to do that.
Okay.
So I posted blah, 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 because I've had a rough day. A lot of things are going weird and things that I care about, and I was frustrated. And the funny thing is, you want to know why I decided to continue to do the show, honey, tonight?
Why?
Because the translation of blah, blah, blah that your father posted and that Kevin Dell posted was, I will always be there. Mm-hmm. That's why I didn't cancel the show tonight, because I didn't want to do a show. I seriously didn't want to. And when Dad posted that was the translation of blah, 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 is I will always be there. How could I not do it then? So I'm not promising a great show. I'm going to try very hard, obviously. to provide an interesting show, maybe bring some stuff to you that you haven't heard yet or seen yet. I do want to run off. Let's just start with red tide, get that out of the way, because this happened this weekend.
A 10 News alert right now out of Sarasota County. 2 more dolphins were found dead after the red tide outbreak. This now means 11 have been found dead since Tuesday. One was a 12-year-old dolphin named Speck. The Sarasota Dolphin Research Program has been tracking him since birth. Necropsies will be done on all the animals to figure out what killed them. The toxic red tide, though, appears to be the cause of death. This has been something we have been watching for weeks now, and that's unfortunate that we're seeing more dolphins again.
And unfortunately, this is a setup that's likely to continue for several weeks more. The focus at this point still really has been off the coast of Sarasota and Manatee counties, but we've had some southwest winds over the last few days that could have maybe nudged that into some different areas. So we're going to get an update coming up on Wednesday in terms of where there's movement, maybe where it's cleared out in some spots as well. But for right.
And when they talk about cleared out, it really makes me angry when they say that kind of stuff, honey, honestly, because they're talking about the basic red tide, but they're not getting to the bacterial levels. You never hear the discussion of the bacteria levels, and that bothers me.
Right now, checking out the map, Sarasota and Manatee remain the areas of the most concern. There have been some low levels detected just south of Pinellas County beaches as well. Again,
so what you look at this map here, guys, those of you watching on Twitch, I live right here, right in the middle of all of this red on the north and south end. And it really kind of started, ground zero is here. And the currents during the summertime push everything north and easterly. So it pushes all that red tide in, which mixes with the crap getting dumped out of Lake O over here. And it just makes for an ugly, ugly situation.
Again, another update coming up on Wednesday. I mentioned those southwest winds coming up later in the week. We're going to see a shift coming back around out of the southeast. That means good news in terms of not necessarily spreading some of these respiratory issues farther inland, but it does mean some changing setup in terms of where these winds are going, and I'll break that down for you coming up in just a few minutes.
So that's an idea of at least what we're dealing with here and what we're seeing happening. I mean, that's just get rid of that, shut that down. It's just it's bothersome. When Dave and I were out there, I wish he was here to talk about it a little bit. We didn't hit a lot of respiratory issues. The water was definitely not nice and was not something we wanted to get into. But it's just this is the worst I've ever seen. I've seen fish kills. We've dealt with fish kills before, and we've gone out there when it's happening, hung out at the beach, and just kind of avoided dead fish. But this is out of hand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've said it before. I guess we'll say it again. It's the worst I think we've seen it ever. And a lot of reports are saying that this is the worst
in decades
devastation that they have on record. And yeah, they do seem to be keeping the red tide and then the bacteria levels separate because they kind of have to address those things separately. It's not as though the local news isn't talking about the blue-green algae and the bacteria in the water. It's just they're not putting them together for whatever reason.
Yeah, they're kind of keeping them separated and apart for like you said.
Well, they're
for
not going to take the
be.
flack for the red tide,
right?
Even if it is feeding into it and making it worse,
which a lot of us believe is part of the thing. Now, I know Big Sugar's been posting all these articles through these weird websites talking about how it's not their fault. They don't back pump. I think we discussed that last week, the back pumping, and how it's agriculture and basic fertilizer runoff, which that's very true. I'm working on, we were going to have him tonight, but he's still down in the Keys. Chris O'Neill, he's one of the captains for Clean Water from our area here. He does a terrestrial radio show on ENG, which is our local, flamethrower of a radio station. But he's getting some points out, and I definitely want to have him join us to get a little deeper into that stuff, because you know what, he's the one really tracking it and talking about it a lot. We'll have to watch it. It's unfortunate that it's going on, but we deal with it and we'll get through it, right? Yep, absolutely. So another thing that grabbed my attention, this came out today actually, and it kind of ties in. That's why I wanted to get to this real fast. It kind of ties in with what we have going on here, because you don't see PETA out here anywhere having a big deal about the fish kill because it's a natural occurrence, even though we believe there's more to it. Maybe PETA should be talking about the phosphates and the fertilizers that are overused down here in Florida. Why we even allow that when we have such a quick runoff and no way of it really being filtered out, especially now that we've shut down not that now that we have, but that we did decades ago. We shut down the natural flow of Lake Okeechobee. We shouldn't be allowing real fertilizers here. But PETA's not up here in arms about the dead dolphins or the dead manatee, but PETA feels that they made a great win. After more than a century behind bars, the beasts on the box of animal crackers are roaming free. Mondelzo International, the parent company of Nabisco, has redesigned the package of its Barnum animal crackers after relenting to the pressure from people for ethical treatment of animals. PETA, which has been protesting the use of animals in circuses for more than 30 years, wrote a letter to Models in spring of 2016 calling for a redesign. Given the egregious cruelty inherent in circuses that use animals and the public's swelling opposition to the exploitation of animals used for entertainment, we urge Nabisco to update its packaging in order to show animals who are free to roam in their natural habitat, PETA said in a letter. So this is what we have now for animal crackers instead of the bars in front of them. They feel like they've accomplished something, honey. Do you feel better now that the animal crackers are free to roam?
I didn't care about the packaging on the animal cracker box in the first place.
Isn't that ridiculous? It just shows. It just shows the level of stupidity we have in this country right now. The level of let's pay attention to dumb things while important things are happening over here. And if you think I'm kidding, guys, let me transition this over. If you're on Twitch, you can see the new animal crackers box. That's what it'll look like. Oh, how beautiful. They can roam free. They can eat all the cardboard they want. It is stupid. Ridiculous. Dumb.
That was a fight they were having?
That was a fight they were having for a long time. Well, I guess 2016 they started. They've been protesting circuses. So now you know what? I think Mikey has some old circus animals in train cars. We better go free the slaves out of the train cars and get them out of there because PETA might come and knock down the door if we keep those animals in train cars. Because, those plastic animals can't be in train cars anymore. They must be freed. Freedom!
Okay.
Ridiculous. But that goes in with the point I want to make here is PETA's worried about that. But we've got turtles and manatee and dolphin and every species of fish, crabs, everything. It's sea snails, sea slugs. They're dying. Everything's dying out there. People are swimming in it. There's companies writing articles about how safe it is to get here. Hurry up, get back here. We're good now. Don't worry about it. Sending people into the water. I love our water. I want to go in our water, but I'm not going in it right now. What did we see yesterday at one restaurant we went to?
It was gross.
Dead horseshoe crabs, dead pufferfish. The green algae settling into our area now, which is very unusual for that algae to get all the way here and settle into the area. So all stuff that's just frustrating for us. And that's why it's a big conversation I have right now and I talk about a lot because, hey, we're living through it. We have to deal with it. We have to deal with it all the time. I don't talk a lot of politics and get too far into what Trump's doing or what everybody out there is doing with that whole situation because it's just really slightly frustrating to me and I don't care anymore, honestly. I just don't care. It's not the top of my list of things I want to discuss when we're doing the show. Does that sound wrong that I feel that way?
That you don't discuss politics?
Yeah. That's what this show is based on for a long time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys bring that up all the time.
That we don't talk about it anymore. Or that it was what we talked about. You're very confusing right now. So you're not allowed to get home late anymore because you're scatterbrained still, aren't you?
No, I'm just saying that, okay, that's your opinion that you don't discuss politics on your show anymore, but...
Well, we don't. Well, I mean, we do, but I mean, I'm talking more along the lines of, like, Trump and that crap going on. More of the direct attacks on different figures that are in charge. We still discuss political stuff. obviously. This whole red tide thing is a political-based thing. We haven't really got into all that part of it because right now it's more about let's solve the problem or let's try to prevent the problem from getting worse.
Okay. I get it. I get what you're saying.
But when we talk about Trump and things like that, we don't really get into that very often. Every once in a while, of course. As we know, I think that one lawyer got a deal today or got sentenced today. I wasn't really paying attention. But all this stuff with Trump right now is all around the collusion of Russia here affecting our... Am I bothering you with something over there?
No.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking. You're really scattered. You're not with me tonight.
No, I'm waiting for you to get to your... What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about how Russia colluded to affect our elections, and everybody's in an uproar because that's what happened. And the anniversary of something just happened, and I wanted to point out the anniversary of what happened recently on August 19, 1953. Okay. You know, something that we did that is exactly what everybody's, well, not exactly, but very similar to what everybody's trying to accuse Russians of doing here in our election. Revising earlier U.S. policies, President Dwight D. Eisenhower authorized the CIA to instigate a coup d'etat in Tehran that led to the overthrow of the Iranian Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh and his government on this day in 1953, the 19th. The political, economic, and social consequences of Mossadegh's removal from power has had a profound impact on Iran-U.S. relations, one which manifests itself in the region to this day. A previously excised section of an internal CIA history title, The Battle for Iran, released in 2013, reads, the military coup that overthrew Mossadegh... Is that right?
Mossadegh?
No, Mossadegh. Yeah, I think that's right. And his nation front cabinet was carried out under CIA directions as an act of U.S. foreign policy, conceived and approved at the highest levels of government. The documents published on the agency's archive website under Freedom of Information protocols described in detail how the United States, with British help, engineered the coup, codenamed TPAC Jack by the CIA and Operation Boot by Britain's MI6. Anthony Eldon, the British Foreign Secretary, regarding Mossadegh as a threat to Western strategic and economic interest after the Iranian leader nationalized the British Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, known today as BP. Imagine that. CIA supporters maintained that the coup was strategically necessary. Critics have asserted that the scheme was illegal, paranoid, and immoral. In 2000, Madeleine Albright, the Secretary of State, noted that Eisenhower's administration believed its actions were justified for strategic reasons. But she added the coup was clearly a setback for Iran's political development, and it is easy to see now why many Iranians continue to resent intervention by America. So those Iranians that run around burning the American flag and death to America and, you know, all that kind of stuff, maybe they were taught that because their grandparents or parents or cousins were, you know, murdered by the CIA when they went in and changed the government that they lived under or their family lived under at that time.
They were helping.
We were there for America, for freedom, for independence. Yeah.
Usher everyone into a modern Western
Yes, you
world.
must acquiesce or die, as far as the U.S. is considered, or any other Western nation. Mossadegh.
Shut up and let me help you.
Yeah, we are here to help you. Now die. Mossadegh's overthrow consolidated the rule of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the Shah of Iran, for the next 26 years until he in turn was toppled by the 1979 Iranian Islamic Revolution. Strategically, it was aimed to make sure the Iranian monarchy would safeguard the West's oil interest in the country. After the coup, some of Mossadegh's former associates and supporters were tried, imprisoned, and tortured. On October 29, 1953, Hossein Fatemi, Mossadegh's Minister of Foreign Affairs, was executed by a firing squad under the orders of the Shah military court. So basically, my point is, and we've said this multiple different times, it just happened to be an anniversary of one of the ones we've done. The U.S. government interferes in other countries' operations, politics, citizens, way of life on a regular basis. I mean, that's just a multitude of proven facts. It's not even like I'm making that up. The article right there just said that.
Right. And if you even just spend 3 minutes thinking about this, us occupying anywhere isn't welcome. We wouldn't want... I can't think of a single solitary country we would be okay with coming over here and occupying our territories.
No, don't point that out.
To keep us safe.
Don't point that out.
To keep us safe and to help us, regardless of anything.
Right.
So I don't understand why, over the course of how many decades, that we're like, oh, we're cool with send the boys over. Let's get this country straightened out. Let's get these guys straightened out.
We still have people dying in Afghanistan, a country that had absolutely nothing to do with 9/11, which was the excuse we went there. Had absolutely nothing to do with a lot of the terrorist attacks that have happened over the past 20 years. That really, most of the people there didn't even know about 9/11 when we got there. Majority of the citizens in Afghanistan had no clue what the hell we were even doing there. Well, obviously, we were there for two things, in my opinion. Poppy and lithium. So, obviously, big business does what it wants to do, and it does it positively and unequivocally, whether you like it or not. But don't mind that the CDC just released that the drug overdoses has hit new records. That doesn't mean anything because we're not getting poppy from Afghanistan to make a lot of these opioids that we take in this country. A lot of the legal prescription pills that we take in this country. And this is another thing that we constantly rally against and talk about and say, no, don't do it. Stay away from them. If you can avoid them, stay away from them.
Yeah.
Dad called me today.
No, I know.
Okay.
I got a text.
All right, good.
It's good news.
Yeah, it is good. My father doesn't have cancer, which is good. Now it's time to treat the pain that he's going to continue to be in. We didn't even get to it last week. I had pulled it. I wanted to talk to Dave about it when he was here. But it's neurofibrosis. And a lot of times it's like an external disease. You'll see people that have like these almost look like blisters all over the place. What's the name of that? Oh, Pimple Popper show. That Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah, ew.
Yeah.
Bad visual.
Bad visual. But it brought a lot of light, the one he played for me, which was about the fibroneurosis. It brought a lot to light with that because, you saw that lady in that one where she had them all over her face, all over her body. And it usually displays externally. Well, my father's is displaying internally. It's not getting to the surface, and it's a very painful thing. But he's fought to get off of opioids. It's been 6 months almost now that he hasn't taken any opioids, maybe a little less than that.
Yeah, maybe like 3 or 4.
Yeah, well, it's still pretty damn good, 3 or 4 months. Obviously, we got new medical marijuana laws here in the state of Florida for people who really need it, and it seems to be working well for people who need it. But then, of course, we have the other side of it. More than 72,000 Americans died from drug overdoses in 2017. Everybody keep that in mind. 72,000 people from drug overdoses in 2017. The CDC recorded a 6.6% increase in fatal drug overdoses from 2016, but noted that the preliminary numbers likely underestimate the final death toll. More than 40,000 people died from opioid overdoses last year, and nearly 30,000 people died from overdoses of synthetic opioids. That is 70,000 people that have died from either an opioid or a synthetic opioid. Synthetic opioids would be like fentanyl. They're just putting that in heroin just to kill people, I think. The overdose deaths involving synthetic opioids rose sharply from 2016, while deaths from heroin, prescription opioid pills, and methadone fell, the CDC said. So the deaths on heroin, which falls into that same category there, has gone down.
Well, the death for almost everything has gone down, but your
Except for
prescription deaths have
painkillers.
gone up
Right.
over time dramatically.
It is really a scary thought that the
I think it was you, or maybe it was Dad, that posted the graph. It was like over a 20-year span.
I think it was Dad, probably. I don't remember that one.
Deaths from alcohol, death from heroin, death from coke. Like all this stuff, and it had a graph of each one, and prescription pills are just
Constantly
straight going up the charts. Yep.
Well, because we were constantly adding more prescription pills, plus we're repurposing.
Overprescribing.
Well, we're repurposing prescription pills. Something that's maybe, let's say, because Shantex is derived from a antidepressant. Shantex, the prescription pill to stop smoking, that's actually an antidepressant that they've repurposed into helping people stop smoking. I don't know exactly how, but that's what they're doing. Hell, we've got people who have
Now, with Shantex, I don't know. I don't recall reading up on anything about anyone dying from it, but I know that a lot of people become homicidal on it.
Okay, that's just as bad.
So is it an SSRI then, or?
I believe so. It originally comes from an SSRI, if I'm not mistaken. And that's just not. I mean, why are we putting these things in our body? I just don't get it. You know me. I'm totally against putting all that. I do what I do
because the doctor prescribed it,
and it's legal and it's okay. And yeah, I know
people don't feel bad about taking things that their doctor told them would help them.
I know, but doctors aren't always right.
Well, not everybody knows
unfortunate.
that.
Well, if people looked and saw the death rate, maybe they would think about it a little bit more. Maybe they wouldn't just pop that pill immediately.
People need to start doing their research when you're prescribed something.
But the doctor told them to take it, honey.
When you're dealing with a problem, do your own research.
Look into it a little bit.
Yeah, ask questions.
It doesn't hurt to ask questions. It's a good thing.
No.
And maybe you still decide to take it, but educate yourself and use that as a means to move forward. But we arrest people and put them in prison for using heroin at one point, or if this person realizes they have a problem when they're using heroin, they go get treatment, and then they get put on illegal heroin, which is methadone. And then they live the rest of their lives taking methadone.
Right.
Which is pitiful and sad.
Yeah, that's a rough drug, you guys. It's not much better.
No, it's not much better at all. You're still stuck, in that cycle of addiction almost forever. I mean, it doesn't go away. I know it's probably a little better than heroin.
You'll never live a normal life on methadone. You can't.
No.
You can't function in normal society. You're literally at the mercy of someone else taking care of you while you maintain your drug-addled brain until you die. That's how that goes. Don't get to that point.
Yeah, because it's all it does is just keep you fucked up constantly and
Yep.
controlled, and you got to go get that next
So
fix
you're
every
not
few
going through
days.
your heroin withdrawal.
Yeah, but you're going through some kind of withdrawal. Hey, do whatever you want with your body. I really don't care, honestly.
Don't do that.
I mean, I don't care. That's part of my thing. As long as you're not affecting me, my family, or anybody else, do what you want. That's perfectly fine. But so we'll get these people that decide to get help, and then they're put on the methadone or given a drug to control their addiction. But then we have people smoking a little weed or carrying a little shrooms, and they're getting put away with these same people. The scary drugs.
Scary,
that
deadly
Schedule
drugs.
1 drug.
Yeah.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
So ridiculous.
While the Department of Health and Human Services has declared the opioid epidemic a public health emergency, skeptics have said few solutions have actually come out of the White House or Congress. States are using grant money made available through the 21st Century Cures Act, which was signed into law in 2016 to fight the epidemic, but President Trump has not allocated additional resources in the battle.
Like what? What do they want?
Well, I know, right?
That would be additional, that would help curtail this issue.
Legalizing marijuana across the board through all 50 states, taking off the Schedule 1 off the Schedule 1 level, so people aren't only allowed to take antidepressants or painkillers, opioid-based painkillers.
That is a long name for an organization.
What? What is?
legalize weed across the board so that blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, well, that's what should happen.
Okay.
It's a problem in the country. I mean, obviously, we got 70,000 people dying from prescription drugs, basically, in this story. I mean, fentanyl, if it's through a heroin overdose with fentanyl added to it, that's a whole other thing in itself. It's just...
Very sad.
It frustrates me. It really does. It's just very, very frustrating.
But hey, if you're into population control,
it's a great thing.
Boom.
Yeah, that's a great, absolutely a great way to control the population.
Nobody seems to even be upset about it. So
no, nobody is. That you're right. You know what? Nobody really does seem to be upset about it. It just seems to be something that is allowed to continue. It's just accepted. You know, when people commit suicide, the suicide rates are exploding. And there was this girl. She was with her family. She just graduated college. She was with her family on a kayaking trip, and she went missing. A storm came. She went missing. Her kayak washed up. It turns out, allegedly, which I don't really buy this story, but it turns out that she committed suicide, and she tied an extension cord she took from the campgrounds to a rock under the water, and then jumped in and tied that to herself and drowned herself, which, again... The story doesn't make much sense that that's how it went down, but that's what they're saying. It was a suicide. Now they're doing an autopsy.
Right.
But you see, you hear a lot. I mean, hell, I've just sitting listening to the scanner when I'm working. I hear at least 3 or 4 attempted or potential suicides a week in Charlotte County here. There was one 2 weeks ago. I didn't even tell you about this one. Our neighbor used to clean the house for this guy. There was one, he was terminally ill with cancer and blew his head off.
Oh.
I heard the whole dispatch, and then she said something to me like, oh, yeah, I heard that one. It's a sad world. It's like we went to the fundraiser for Adam Jobber Miller this past weekend. He was a cop killed by a douchebag, a guy that shouldn't have been on the streets, that was released 2 days earlier by a Sarasota County sheriff, judge, and told to stay on your medication, which obviously he didn't do. And while we were there, I streamed a lot of that, and I've got major anti-cop people that have been messaging me, and I want to bring on the show eventually. And I tried to make the point while we were there that even though I speak about police accountability, I don't want anybody to be killed. I want somebody who did something wrong to make it to court to be able to judge appropriately. I don't want anybody killed. But when somebody is, I'm going to do the right thing and get in there and try to support and help whatever process is being done to make the life better for the people that aren't, don't have this person anymore, whether I like what that person was doing or not. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's a good thing. I think it's what we should be doing.
Yeah, we got to look out for our own.
Yeah, well,
that's everybody.
Everyone, every human being. That's
right.
What we are. We're all human beings. All right, let's do this one real fast. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back in, reset into some other topics. I know you're not really big on the gun issue, honey, but I want to get your opinion on this. I want you to think about it while we're playing the story. This has been a debate going on recently in the main news sources, and just let's see. Pretty sure this is like a speaking one. It better be a speaking one. I hate these things when they're not.
Just hours before blueprints for 3D printed guns were set to be released online due to a settlement reached by the federal government, a federal judge in Seattle abruptly granted a temporary nationwide order to block the uploads. In a tweet, Trump appeared to oppose 3D printed guns despite his administration's settlement ruling. Because designs for the guns were posted in advance of their original release date, more than 2,500 people already downloaded plans to print an AR-15 style semi-automatic assault rifle. But after the Seattle judge's ruling, download links have been removed from the website. This case began 5 years ago when a man named Cody Wilson started to distribute 3D printed blueprints for a weapon called the Liberator, only to
and FYI, I've already got the plans.
Have Obama-era State Department shut him down for violating arms export controls. Wilson complied, but then filed a countersuit that ended with a June 29th settlement, giving his nonprofit Defense Distributed reign to distribute 3D gun specs freely. Despite the government winning lower court rulings on this case, the Trump administration settled because new government regulations made the case moot. The Commerce Department took over the regulation of certain firearms from the State Department to draw a distinct line between military and non-military weapons. And the settlement had gun safety advocates worried. By printing a gun yourself, you can bypass all existing legal processes in place for gun ownership.
Right, and every criminal out there that has a gun bypasses the legal processes for gun ownership. And how about the fact that it's our constitutional right to own a gun?
These build-your-own firearms have no serial numbers and are untraceable, earning them the nickname ghost guns. Because 3D guns are made of ABS plastic, the same material Lego blocks are made from, the guns can also slip through metal detectors.
Now, let's discuss that real fast.
Okay.
Let's while we're at that, let's just briefly discuss that. First of all, it's gonna have to have metal parts in it. You can't have a plastic firing pin. Following me?
Yeah.
All right. Now that's a small piece of metal. So be it. There's gonna be springs involved in it.
Where's your plans that you have?
I got to pull them out. I got to dig them out of storage here. It's just the modeling for the printer to print it. Excuse me. I don't see any way to get around that. Now, with that all said, let's say the firing pin is plastic. Let's say the springs are plastic. The bullets are going to be metal. The casings are going to be metal. You can't use a gun without a bullet. So there's going to be, if you're detected with a bullet or bullets, then maybe we need to look in your bag a little more. Just my thought on that. I had to get right to that one because that's my biggest argument on that. Well, so the gun's not detectable.
So now you're cool with people rifling through your shit just because you need to make a flight to Tampa?
Well, I don't fly. Thank you. So they're not rifling through my shit.
I'm not talking about you personally. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm not okay with them rifling through my shit. That's why I don't fly anymore.
Ever under any circumstance.
Ever under any circumstances.
Okay.
Why should they be rifling through my shit?
If they have a plastic gun and they see bullets, then you're okay with further inspection.
If you're trying to take bullets on an airplane, yeah, I think maybe we should look in your bag a little further.
Then you're okay with it? Okay,
well, hey,
so
if you
where
choose
do you
to
start?
fly.
Where do you start, Sean?
Do
you think then everyone's bag should be looked at before they get on the plane?
Oh, aren't they?
Yes,
okay,
but you just said that no one should be.
No, I didn't say that. You're not hearing me properly.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not hearing me properly. If you
okay. You just said that under no circumstances should anyone have to have their bag searched.
If you're going to choose to fly an airplane, then you're putting yourself up for that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
My bags aren't going to be searched because I'm not going to fly on an airplane. It's that simple. I mean, I know my bags aren't going to be searched because they're not going to be going on the plane to be searched. Anyway.
I'm going to get you on a plane one day.
What?
I'll get you on a plane one day.
Hey, you know, I love flying. I think it's a wonderful way to travel. I'm not going to do it under these conditions anymore. I just not.
So what do you need, like a private jet? Is that what's happening?
That would be wonderful. You going to go make some more money? I'm all about a private jet.
Slip through metal detectors. The NRA even chimed in and said that plastic guns are illegal. 8 states filed suit in Seattle against the Trump administration's settlement, arguing these weapons.
See, and of course, the NRA is going to be against these plastic guns or these homemade weapons because
they've been illegal for 30 years.
Oh yeah, you can't. There was a Glock made at one time that was plastic and it was undetectable by airport security, especially at the time. I believe it was a Glock or some kind of handgun that was of untraceable material. They have been banned by the U.S. government for over 30 years, and they don't. I mean, really, this is just stupid. Honestly, you can make if you wanted to carve your own flintlock gun.
So even just say you want to print a gun.
Right.
And just assemble it yourself and put it on a shelf and be like, oh, I created a thing. Just like kids do with their Lego sets. You've now broken a law that's a federal law.
Yep. Nope. Absolutely.
And what? You could be arrested
You could be arrested, yes.
for printing a plastic gun, even if you've never used it,
Yep. Even if you never loaded it.
never took it
Never
outside.
put anything in it.
That's so stupid.
Are a threat to public safety. Discussing the court's ruling, Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson appeared on Anderson Cooper 360 and said this.
This is a nationwide ban, so it takes us back to a period of time before the federal government flipped on their policy regarding these 3D ghost guns.
Here to discuss the case and its broader
ghost
impact
guns.
is
Gotta be
Times
scary
senior
sounding.
editor Alex Fitzpatrick. All right, Alex, thanks so much for joining us. Now, publicly available weapons manuals do exist. We've all heard of the Anarchist Cookbook. So what is the significance of an open source blueprint for 3D guns?
Well, we've never had a way for somebody to download a way to build a gun and basically click a mouse button and have that gun built.
All right, first of all, we've always had a way to build a gun because you could very easily, as I was saying, like a flintlock type weapon, you could build your own gun very easily. It's not that hard. I mean, I couldn't do it. Well, I probably could if I tried hard enough. But we've always had the way. We've just made it technologically simpler.
I remember my dad making rockets, and he would launch them, and they would go, I don't know, 500 yards out to where you couldn't even see it anymore.
Right.
But yeah, I could definitely see people making some harmful shit on their own if they really wanted to.
Well, I mean, you know how easy
You
it is to
can't
make.
regulate everything.
It's very easy to make a pipe bomb if you really want to. It's very, excuse me, it's very easy to do about anything if you really want to.
And basically click a mouse button and have that gun built. That's a huge step forward in terms of technology.
Now, the judge actually blocked blueprint downloads, but the internet is so far-reaching. So are the laws equipped to handle open-sourced weaponry?
No, they're really not. This is a very classic case of the law just not being updated enough to deal with technological advancement.
Well, you know, they probably said the same thing when they were talking about swords and how they were going to ban swords back when there was a guy pounding out a sword. Or you could just build one yourself if you were intelligent enough. Or, hey, it's really not hard to make a knife. How about a bow and arrow? You know, you can make a bow and arrow pretty damn easy.
So JJ was saying, I'm pretty sure that once those guns are made, that they can only fire once. So maybe they don't have metal parts, but they'd still have to have metal bullets. And then once it was used, it would be destroyed.
Okay, I could see that because the heat of the bullet coming down the barrel would melt the barrel.
But wait, there's more. How much do 3D printing machines cost?
They're getting cheaper. They're really not too bad. I mean, you could probably get a decent rig, maybe $350, $400, which is not bad.
And how much would it cost to get the materials to make said 3D
A minimal
gun?
to nothing. It's a printer cartridge, so you know I'm sure it comes with a starter cartridge, just like the printer behind me came with. You know, they'll probably do maybe 4 or 5 guns before it was out. I'm guessing here. I don't really know. I'm just trying to guess and give you an answer.
I'm pretty sure that's off.
Oh, again, I don't know. I don't know the process. I don't know how much it takes.
It would probably cost close to at least $2,000 just to start your machine and get it going and
I know
have
there's
all the
cheap
materials together. And
I know the cost of the machines have come down. I know there's a $300 or $400 one because I saw one recently.
I just don't see people printing off $400 guns just to fire them once and be like, oh, I made a
print
gun.
another one. Got to make another one.
$400 on one shot.
Well, you know what? Just think of this. Think of you'd have to do any damage. You'd have to print like 50 of them and carry these 50 plastic guns around in order to like be a threat to society. I mean, otherwise you're just going to kill one person at a time.
Yeah.
And you better be a damn good shot. And just things to ponder. To the rest
Once
of the
something
video.
is on the internet, it's pretty much always there, and copies of these manuals are already available on other websites.
Well, they could say that, but Alex Jones isn't always there anymore, is he?
Some people argue that people are
Not like I like
overreacting
Alex,
about 3D guns. You know, they say that they're clunky, they're expensive, they don't pose the same threat like real guns do. So do they have a point, and who's actually interested in these 3D models?
To some extent, that's true, but a rule of technology is that they get better and more efficient over time. Compare the
Fucking genius.
iPhone you have now to the iPhone you had 10 years ago, and there's almost no comparison other than the way they look. And the people who are interested in these weapons are mostly libertarians and Second Amendment supporters who don't believe in government oversight of guns and weapons.
Now, of course, we'll see how the government...
Always throw the libertarians and the gun rights supporters in there. Just like, we're the bad guys. I mean, because if I have to classify, I'd probably fall in the libertarian world.
Probably a realistic assumption.
Well, yeah, that
but those are going to be the ones that are going to go to all the trouble.
The
of
anti-fuck
doing
idiot,
this.
the anti-fuck idiot that's protesting isn't going to want to fucking have a gun because they like to punch people in the back of the head when they're not
They're not
looking.
going to get a printer.
They're not
and
smart enough to figure it out
plans to
anyway. Probably
get a gun and make it so they can fire it one time.
I got to see if I can find it. Did you see David Hogg is back?
You or one of your friends would do some stupid shit like
Well, of course we would, because that's the kind of people we are. We're those dangerous, crazy people out there.
Libtard.
Libtard. I'm not a libtard. A pen in my mouth. Like really hard to talk on the radio when you got a pen in your mouth. Report. I wanted to see if this.
It doesn't even look like what you're typing is English. I can't really.
Yeah, I can read it. It's all right. I want to see if this story, because I guess David Hogg is back in the news yet again. My buddy David Hogg.
No.
Yeah.
You promised me we would never talk or speak of him again.
Well, they wrote this article. I wish I couldn't share it because it was on the New Yorker, and I don't understand why businesses don't put their stories shareable when they're sharing on Drugs Report, or why they don't put. I just don't get it. Where is it? Damn it! It's got to be here still. Come on, David. Where are you, you loser? You fucking douchebag. Well, the funny thing was, and it really kind of pissed me off, and I'm a veteran, but I'm not a combat veteran, so I was never in a combat situation. But as a veteran, this comment that they compared him, and I wish I had the story here in front of me. They talked about how he was just like any other young man in the trenches, trying to make his last comments and points of where he is. This is what they're saying in the article.
What was he doing?
It was talking about his day. Hold on, let me Google it here. It was talking about the day of the shooting.
Is there nothing this kid can do to redeem himself in your
I
eyes?
fucking hate this kid. Fucking little dude. He's not even a kid. He's an adult.
He could bring on world pace and be like, "Con."
I would.
You would.
I don't like him at all. He's just. I still think he's
insufferable.
He's insufferable. Yeah, that's a good one. Is it insufferable? Is this what the hell? It was on New York Mag. I think it's this one. Let me see here, because I just got to read this one quote out of it. God, he's so millennial, that's perfect nice. Millennial douchebag. Blah blah blah. Like so many. Here it is. Like so many young men in so many foxholes before him, Hogg discovered in himself a powerful drive not to leave this earth without making a mark. We really only remember a few. We really only remember a few hundred people, if that many, out of the billions that have ever lived. He told me at his house in a gated community in Parkland 10 days after the shooting. Is that what I was destined to become? Hogg was alone, home alone that day, checked his phone, and keeping company with Tatter, the family terrier, allergic to grass but fond of Anyway, their dog is allergic to grass. It's to show you how much of a douchebag of idiot is. That comparison, like so many young men and so many foxholes before him, Hogg discovered in himself a powerful drive not to leave this earth without making a mark. Okay. Idiot. Fucking go away, Hogg. Hate that guy.
You had to bring him up for that.
Douchebag.
Could have just not talked about him
Pussy.
at all.
I don't like him.
Clearly.
Is that not obvious that I don't like him?
It's very obvious.
It's very, very obvious. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Maybe as quick as it's going to be. Sit tight. We'll be back. You're listening to First 52, RazRadioLive.com, Twitch TV /Sean Raz1.
I know! My goddamn rats!
I lost my husband.
My son.
My uncle.
My nephew. On September 11th, 2001.
Most people don't know a third tower fell that day.
The government says fire brought it down.
The collapse of World Trade Center 7 was primarily due to fires.
I, along with 1,400 other architects and engineers,
have found the government's conclusion to be physically impossible.
Impossible.
We need the truth about what happened that day.
Go to rememberbuilding7.org.
Why it fell, why it mattered.
We all live in different realities. There's no doubt about that. They're trying to form a one unified reality. But as we start to look towards what we're trying to actually get to, and that is liberty, freedom, justice for all, which is a global cry. We are now knowing from all the internet realms that this is a global cry. It doesn't matter if you're in the Netherlands, in Africa, in Peru, or wherever. We're all saying the same thing all over the globe. All over the globe.
Namah Shivaya. Om Namo, Om Namo, Namo, Namo.
And so you can't reject anything that comes your way. The universe is trying to speak to you and give you what you need, but you're rejecting it because you think you know what you deserve and what you need, which has all been conditioned and programmed by our culture creators such as Walt Disney, Monsanto, and everyone else. So the answer to our problem is actually invisible, and it is called synchronicity, but it's an answer that no one can show you. No one can show you. And so now we're asking humanity to have faith in humanity when the Dark Brotherhood is making it so impossible to do so. Because we think all of this is our fault. Because we think all of this is our fault. Because we think all of this is our fault. So we need to find that faith in humanity, because listen to all these people that have come out here, every single one of them, a loving, caring, nurturing being that just wants to uplift humanity. Well, that's the majority. Well, that's the majority. Well, that's the majority. The television's telling you the total opposite. Fear those people in a van. Fear, don't go outside. You know, you don't want to be meeting around with people. And that's exactly what you should be doing. And that's exactly what you should be doing. And that's exactly what you should be doing. And that's exactly what you should be. And the synchronicities will start to unfold, and then you'll actually believe in miracles. Anything that comes your way, go with it and do it to your fullest. You know, that's my message to the world, because it'll guide you to your soul's purpose. And if you let your light shine, you know, to your fullest when something comes your way, then it'll magnify and become even more than you ever anticipated. And the best thing is that everything's better than you could have ever dreamed it. Everything's better than you could have ever dreamed it. Everything's better than you could have ever. And I know that's a hard message to sell when the BP oil spill, with the volcanoes, with the corruption, with everything that's going down, the police state, you know, all of it. It's hard to tell people to regain their faith in humanity, to forgive the anger that you have for these people that have trespassed on you, and to just start seeking the new existence. But we have to. That's what we have to do. We're the voice now. We're the voice now. We're the voice now.
Look at my crayon out. Hold on. What am I supposed to say? What am I doing here? What's your name again? Sean Raz?
Four Toad and Lexi.
So I mentioned Four Toad? Sure.
Or Dave. Dave.
Hey, it's always great to be on the First 52 with Sean Raz, Four Toad and Lexi. You know, that sounds like shit. What am I? Give me a script here. Come on, I can't do this. You're putting me under pressure. Bob, don't worry about it here. And
Dr. Bob.
Dr. Bob, yeah.
It's Dr. Bob Tuscan.
It's Bob Tuscan, and you're listening to the First 52 on Raz Radio with my buddies Sean Raz and Lexi Raz and that guy Four Toad.
It's Tuesday.
Live Tuesday nights, the First 52, Raz Radio Live from 6 to 8. Is this Raz? Yes, Raz. This is the best you got?
Someone the NSA once listed as the most dangerous hacker in America. Sure don't look like much.
Angry White Guy Radio.
Yeah, but he does take a different stance. You know, his point of view is different. The first part of the, Constitution.
I love the content. Hey, it's the First 52, Raz with you.
Join me, Sean Raz, Tuesday nights, 6 to 8 p.m., RazRadioLive.com, RadioFreeBlood.com. He'll be back.
In the city, you're throwing sin, who She a butterfly, so perfect. Girl learned a few things on her own. With daddy gone and mama working. Never show. Never know. Pull down your sleeve, let nobody see what's underneath. And I'll pick you up, and I'll hold you higher than you've ever been before. I'll raise you up even higher when evil is aspire, and try to keep your fire low. Strong like your mama, girl, I know. But when you're balling on the floor, I'll pick you up, and I'll hold you higher than you've ever been, ever been. Story pick up with our girl down on her luck again. Her ambition evade her, so why not she look to supplement all the feeling covenant. I am no Darth Vader, no, I only mean to compliment. Help you through the heart of it. Never show. Now who's the toughest ragamuffin I know? Pull down your sleeve, love, don't let them see ya crying when you're all out of fight. I'll pick you up, and I'll hold you higher than you've ever been before. I'll raise you up even higher when evil is aspire, and try to keep your fire low. Strong like your mama, girl, I know. But when you're balling on the floor, I'll pick you up, and I'll hold you higher than you've ever been before.
You reached the IRS, how can I help you?
Yes, I got a message on my phone that said something about a lawsuit from the IRS. I don't know what's going on.
All right, then. First of all, can you verify the phone number which you receive a call?
Oh, yeah, it's from my burner phone because I was getting head from this big sloppy crack whore and then you fucking interrupted with this IRS bullshit.
Is it your phone number? You receive a call on this number?
No, not on this number. This fat whore was going to gobble my dick for some crack, and you called me on my burner phone, blew the whole deal.
Can you verify the home phone number?
Look, Haji, let's just cut to the chase. I know what this is all about. I've been selling used sex toys at the flea market for about a year, and I haven't been paying any taxes on it, so what's it going to take to get me out of this?
Sorry, $1,000 cash?
$30,000 cash? Listen, Vishnu, I got $30,000. How about I come down there, do some snake charming, you know what I mean?
You need to verify your phone number.
No, look, I'm coming down there. I'm going to gobble your king cobra like I was a rabid mongoose.
Then I need to pull out the case file. Is it the correct person or not?
Oh, I got you. Somebody's listening in. Yeah, you pull out your case file and I'll diligently work on it and take care of it no matter how thick it is.
Can you verify your mailing address?
Well, I'm in between houses right now, so I'm getting my mail at the local glory hole. They're located at 615 Edith Avenue.
You're talking to the federal officer.
Yeah, right. Shouldn't you be riding an elephant and picking up sticks somewhere?
You need to get arrested tomorrow in the morning.
Tomorrow morning? I got like 100 marijuana plants I got to get rid of.
What is the first name?
My first name's Ned.
What is the last name?
Last name? Suck Uncle Sam's dick, you dirty job stealing. Hello?
Yes.
All right. I admit it, Haji. I was lying.
Ned.
You got me. I'm actually a pre-op transsexual, and I make $80,000 a year under the table, cash, from fingering my asshole on a webcam.
Mr. Ned.
You got me.
Just stay on the line.
Take me away.
Wait for the legal action.
Oh, I'll be waiting, and you better send about 30 IRS agents. Because I'm going to be snorting PCP all night long, buddy.
Just stay on the line.
What, do you got to take a poop break, you dirty street shit?
Mr. Nate.
Hey, what's up?
Mr. Nate, can you verify the last footage at social?
Eat a sacred cow dick, Sanjay.
So I'm just sending the cops over there tomorrow in the morning.
I'll be nude.
Just stay on the line for a few minutes.
Were you tracing a call? Hello? I think you hung up on me, didn't you? You son of a bitch.
Why did you say that?
Oh, you're eavesdropping like a little snitch, huh?
Hang up, son of the bitch, you say that?
Well, bring it on, VJ.
Do not call me again.
Does your lover's dick always taste like curry?
Hang up the call.
Or what?
Get arrested.
What's your handle on New Delhi Grinder, you Hindu twink?
Now the line has been disconnected.
Fuck you! Suck my dick! Fuck you!
Were you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
This is Bob Tuskin. This is Bob Tuskin from the IntelHub.com. You're listening to the First 52 on Rash Radio.
In the frying pan. All right, guys, welcome back to First 52, RazRadioLive.com, Twitch TV /Sean Raz, Radio Confluence, Salty Talk Radio, Radio Chaos. Who knows where else? Maybe some other place. Oh, Replay, Bubba Army Radio, Sundays at 4. You can find us there also. I'll listen to this forever. Did they really just bleep out a nigger like me is going insane? All right, you know, they ruin everything good. Did they really just do that? I gotta see.
You're gonna get those letters from YouTube again. Hate mail.
They bleeped it out.
You're not allowed to.
Oh my God, I'm so.
No, you've ranted about this time and
Why
time again.
can't I rant about that? It is effing ridiculous. I grew up on that song. We used to sing, "A nigger like me is going insane."
Stop it.
I'm done. Makes me so angry. Why? Like, what? Why?
It's pointless to be angry about such things.
Well, you know, I guess that's just going to spin us into this one. Let's get some racism out while we're at it. Let's do all the racist shit now while we can. How about that?
No.
Who wants some racism?
Not me.
I do. So I didn't listen. I had this pulled up last week to talk about it. And
do I know this?
I didn't get to it. No, you probably don't know this because when I watched it, I about fucking shit myself.
Ew.
Well, I don't literally mean shit myself. We'll stop and start as we go through because I know we just got back from break. We got a little audio heavy tonight. That's okay. But I think this is disturbing to me, and maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I'm an angry white guy and it's bothering me. I don't know. But I would hope that this might bother some other people also. Let me get this where everybody can see it. You guys can watch our thoughts as we're watching it. Honey, you have not seen this yet, right?
No.
Okay.
Reporter for the Daily Northwestern, but I'm not here on behalf of the Daily Northwestern. But my editor's up there, so he can also write stuff down.
Just say pause if you want me to stop it all. Okay. So this girl is a reporter for the Daily Northwestern, right?
Down as I'm talking to you. Okay, cool. So basically, last week Northwestern had this concert with Lil Uzi Vert. I don't know if you know who that is. He's like the "All My Friends Are Dead." Going through my head, something, "All my friends are dead." Anyway, he uses the N-word profusely, like a ton, and there was an email sent out to students who went to this concert saying, you don't have a right to use this word, which I 100% agree with. As a white person, I don't have any right. I haven't, until reparations are paid, until there's some sort of...
Until reparations are paid, honey, she can't use the N-word until, and I'll use the N-word so I don't upset you. But she can't use the N-word till reparations are paid. She's what, 25 years old, maybe?
Maybe.
And she, whatever.
Giving back, there's no right. But what do you say to, I don't know what to do when I hear my friends using this word in a song. I don't know what to do when it's just...
I don't know what to do when my friends sing a song that you wrote. I just...
It's all the time.
Well, I don't want to get into what people sing in their showers. You know, if you want to sing the whole DMX song in your shower or whatever that dude's name, it's fine. I think people should understand the reasoning for why, and this is, divisive with even in the black community. Everybody doesn't agree with this. I'm sorry, I'm going to say the word because I think.
Oh, the black guy is going to say the word, honey. You going to be able to handle it?
He apologized in advance.
I'm sorry, I'm a black guy and I'm going to say the word.
That's so sweet.
In the conversation, like if you had used the word nigger right just now, I would have understood what you meant. And I wouldn't have taken offense within the context of the question. I understand why you did that. Communities in general of people, well, let's start even more basic than that. Words don't have meaning without context, okay? My wife refers to me as honey. That's accepted and okay between us. If we were walking down the street together and a strange woman referred to me as honey, that wouldn't be acceptable.
Now, honey, would that be acceptable to you if a strange woman, older lady maybe, said, "Hey, honey, how you doing?" Would that bother you if they said that to me?
I'd punch her square in her nose.
Really? Would you?
I'm just kidding.
Okay, thank you. Jesus Christ.
Back off, bitches.
So, and I mean, if I think it's a little different from a male to female perspective, whereas if a guy said honey to you, it wouldn't bother me, but if a guy said sweetie or sweetheart to you, with me standing next to you, that might bother me a little bit, depending upon who it was and the context it was delivered in.
Well, I've noticed that...
Which is the main point of this whole story. But go ahead.
That's difficult to use as a comparison because, especially when it's a male addressing a female, because men are still stuck in feeling like it's okay to call adult women pet names.
Yeah.
Even on a professional capacity.
Yeah,
I mean,
I do it myself.
There's plenty of people that I work with that are like, "Oh, thanks, sweetie pie," or "Hey, love," or whatever. And I'm just thinking, I mean, when you're talking to men in the same profession, are you like, "Thanks, sweetie"?
Well, no, but they'd be like, "Thanks, dude," or "buddy," or "pal."
Yeah, it's not the same.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he's making a valid point. It's just it's not quite comparable, but
okay. Well, let's let him continue to make his point. Okay.
All right.
The understanding is I have some sort of relationship with my wife. Hopefully, I have no relationship with this strange woman. When I was young and I used to go see my family in Philadelphia, where my dad was from, they will all call him Billy. His name is William Paul Coates. No one in Baltimore called him Billy, and had I referred to my father as Billy, that probably would have been a problem. That's because the relationship between myself and my dad is not the same as the relationship between my dad and his mother and his sisters who he grew up with, right? We understand that. It's the same thing with words within the African-American community or within any community. My wife, with her girlfriend, will use the word bitch. I do not join in. I don't, say, hey, I want to...
See, but if you and Gloria were sitting around going, hey, bitch, I'd jump right in, though.
Well, you're friends with her, too.
Okay.
And she calls you all kinds of horrible names. So.
Horrible, horrible names. I mean, horrible. She's very mean to me. She abuses me regularly.
So
it's very harmful to my mental well-being. I mean,
slide.
I just got to say.
I don't do that. I don't do that. And perhaps more importantly, I don't have a desire to do it. You understand? A while ago, Dan Savage was going to have this show that he was going to call Hey Faggot. I'm not going to yell faggot at Dan Savage. I'm just not, that's not my relationship with the LGBT community. And I understand that, and I'm okay with that. I don't have a desire to, yell out the word, faggot. I just don't.
But see, he really wants to say faggot a lot. Do you notice he just said faggot like 5 times? Now imagine if I was speaking in that realm, in that way, and I said the N-word 5 different times as I was trying to say why I didn't want to say that word.
You do that all the time.
I know that, but I can do that because that's me. He's trying to make an example of why you can't. I don't think there's any word anybody can't say. So for me to be saying that while I'm saying you can't say this word is one thing. But he's getting to the point eventually here is why white people can't say the N-word.
Okay.
All right.
the question one must ask, if that's accepted and normal for groups of people, we understand that, it's normal actually for groups to use words that are derogatory in an ironic fashion. Why is there so much hand-wringing when black people do it? Black people are basically, however you feel about it, they're not outside of the normal rules and laws for humanity. I had a good friend who used to have this cabin in upstate New York, which he referred to as the white trash cabin. He was white. I would never refer to that cabin. I would never tell him I'm coming to your white trash cabin.
Why not? What's wrong with that?
That would be funny.
It would be funny. Hey, brother, I'm coming to your white trash cabin. We go white trashing on the boat sometimes. And we're not white trash. It's just a word. You know what? If I want to fix something real quick and maybe use some duct tape, I might call it a certain thing.
I just wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? I think you understand why I wouldn't do it. The question one must ask is why so many white people have difficulty extending things that are basic laws, of how human beings interact to black people.
So there's basic laws on how all people interact to black people, is what he just said. Is that not what he just said?
I think he's saying that he doesn't understand why white people are having such a problem understanding that racial slurs used in a derogatory manner won't be well received. So much so and it's been used so much so.
But the question here, hold on. You're getting off the topic of the question. The question was here, she felt bad and doesn't understand how to tell her white friends that they can't sing a song that's got lyrics in it that uses the N-word, and they shouldn't be saying the N-word in a song written by a black man that is being purchased and promoted by white people, and all they're doing is singing the lyrics of the song. Okay. That's all they're doing.
But white people are having more of an issue with that than black people. What he is saying is that if you're using it in a derogatory manner, that's not something that I would do, and it's not something that I think you should do either.
Well, obviously not. I'm not going to walk up to a black guy and
I don't give a shit what you're doing in your own social setting,
you can do whatever you want
in your shower, or whatever you want to say it.
Let's back this up because we kind of jumped in.
Extending things that are basic laws.
Basic laws.
Of how human beings interact to black people.
Of how human beings interact to black people. There's basic laws on how human beings interact with black people. That is a statement that is racist within itself.
I think that was just a poor choice of words on his part.
Was that not a racist statement in and of itself?
No, I think he's looking at this crowd of white people and saying, I don't know how to explain this to you. It should be common sense. If
the phone lines are open, guys, 941-421-0401.
Derogatory about his white things or white things that he's doing, he's saying, I'm not going to go and say the same things that he's saying because I know that it's derogatory. And he's just saying, I don't understand why that's so fucking difficult for white people to understand.
But
that's what he's saying.
But here's the thing: the white guy's saying, "This is what we call it. This is our way of life. This is what we like. This is the way we like to be."
And he's not going to repeat it to his white friend. He's going to hang out with his white friend, but he's not going to say it out loud.
I'll repeat the phone number just in case anybody does want to join us: 941-421-0401. Phone lines are open if you want to give your opinion on this. I'd love to hear it. Probably won't agree, but I'd like to hear it. Maybe we will agree. If it's buzzy, I'm sure we'll probably agree somewhat.
And I think I know why.
He thinks he knows why.
When you're white in this country, you're taught that everything belongs to you. You think you have a right to everything. You have a right to go where you, and you're conditioned this way. It's not, because your hair is a texture or your skin is light. It's the fact that the laws and the culture tell you this. You got a right to go where you want to go, do what you want to do, be however, and people just got to accommodate themselves to you. So here comes this word that, you feel like you invented. And now somebody will tell you how to use a word that you invented. Why can't I use it? Everyone else gets to use it. You know what? That's racism that I don't get to use it. You know, that's racist against me. You know, I have to inconvenience myself and hear this song and I can't sing along? How come I can't sing along? You know what I mean? And I think, you know, for white people, I think the experience of being a hip-hop fan and not being able to use the word nigga is actually very, very insightful. It will give you just a little peek into the world of what it means to be black.
So your thoughts on that?
That's how he feels. That's his opinion. I don't.
You get your little peek on
I
how
mean,
to be black,
I
or what it's like
wasn't
to be black.
raised under the impression that I can have whatever I want because I'm white.
Right. And neither was I.
I was told that, you know, I need to keep my nose in the books and don't get knocked up and work hard and set goals. But at the same time too, I'm really not caught up in this conundrum of why can't I say the N-word.
It's not even just
I don't need to.
It's not even just the N-word though, honey. That's part of the problem. It's
I know I can say it. I'm opting not to.
It's any, and this really does fall. And listen, I'm the furthest from a racist person ever, but this falls more on the white person, the average, especially white man.
What falls on you?
I was going to say it. Don't make me lose my train of thought, because then I'll forget the whole thing I was trying to say. It comes down to this fact that, like he said, everybody around me can say these words. And listen, I don't want to run around saying the word, but I don't think that if I decide to put NWA in my van as I'm driving down the road and I want to sing it, and there's a black guy that I'm passing as I'm singing it, that shouldn't be offensive. And this spins into not being able to call a she a he, a she, or the whole LGBT thing. You know, every little thing that everybody gets offended over anymore. It just seems that it's specifically directed at the basic thought pattern of an average white guy. You know, like me. I'm not gonna call a guy with a dick a he, a she. I know we have this discussion all the time, but I'm just not. You know, I'm not going to be overly offensive and try to insult them. But if I know it's a man in front of me, and it's a pretty obvious fact that it's a man in front of me, then I'm going to describe him as he. And me describing him as he to you, and there's a LGBT person nearby, maybe not even him, who hears me say that, I am now a complete and total bigot, because I won't recognize him as she, even though she's a he. And why should I reckon? I'm going, you know, see the confusion? And it's not, again, I don't want to run around saying the word, but if I'm telling a story, or if I'm reciting a line of a movie or singing a song, people shouldn't be offended if I'm just using the art as it's delivered to me, is all I'm saying. Does that make sense?
So you're saying that people shouldn't get upset with you if you're going to call an obvious transgender a boy, because you know in your head that he has a penis even though he's trying to look like a girl, because you shouldn't have to be, I don't know, weighed down by that?
It's not even being weighed down. It's that...
But you want black people to calm down because you...
I don't want black people to calm down.
You like the right to use the N-word?
No, I don't want the right to use the N-word. I mean, it's a word. I don't use it to describe... Like,
this bothers you a lot because you bring it up a lot.
It's because...
I'm just trying to figure out why it bothers you so much.
It's because when I was growing up, I'm a 43-year-old adult. When I was growing up, black culture was cool to us. Black culture was something that they went to the young white kid in the suburban high schools to make their money off of. I don't mean blacks, and I just mean the people promoting it. That was a culture I grew up around. To me, the N-word was just a lyric of a song.
Yeah, and I recall it being less offensive when I was younger, or it could have just been the people I was surrounded by. But
well, you grew up in the ghetto of Jacksonville,
I don't recall you know, really there being. I remember in high school when you were like, "Oh my God, that's so gay," like
Right.
everything was.
Stop
gay.
acting like a fag.
Gay.
Yeah.
Like you just used it as an adjective for everything.
Right.
You know.
Well,
But now, I mean, you're much less likely to do stuff like that.
oh, absolutely,
It's
much less
just-
likely.
the
Let's talk about
words
society.
hold a lot more weight now.
Well,
For whatever
it's
reason.
because we've been
It's just
pussified and
culturally how it is.
and the minority and
But it
when I say minority, I don't mean black. I mean the minority, like the gays or the smaller groups of people, have gained way too much control. Let's really find out from a small group. What's up, Buzzy?
Oh.
What's up, you white trash cracker?
Yeah, that's right, my brother. That's what I am. Bring it on. What's your
Now,
thoughts?
What did you just say a few minutes ago? I might agree with what?
Jesus Christ, I don't know. You asking me to remember what I said a few minutes ago? I'd have to listen back to the show to figure it out. You might agree with me
You're not
on
as
this.
old as I am.
Well, did you listen to the video, to the segment I just played, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I said you may agree with me on my thought pattern on it. You may not. I don't know. I just figured if there was anybody that was going to agree with what I was saying,
see
it was
nothing
you.
wrong with saying the word nigger as long as you use it in the right context. Now, when I was growing up in high school, that was a racial word. We had no A at the end of it. And I would admit I did call people with the N-word.
With the
But I
ER, hard
grew
ER.
older with the ER, but I grew up and, realized that they ain't no different than I am.
Grew up and gained about 300 pounds.
Yeah, that's true, too. And as far as calling people a fag, well, what the hell? You know, they're all just words. Get over it.
And that's a big, I mean, hey, how many times have you been thrown off Facebook or Twitter for words? It's just words.
Yeah.
If you don't,
quite a few times.
if you don't have evil intent behind your words, then that's all they are is words.
It's just a figure of speech, you know. I ain't calling nobody the N-word. I actually don't like the N-word. It's a filthy sounding word to me.
Well, because it's
I
been
don't
made,
like
it's been made to be a filthy sounding word. It's if you really
I
go
forget
to
what the dictionary.
if you
I
go to
forget
the
what dictionary
traditional, if you go to the it's an ignorant person is the traditional
Yeah.
dictionary version of the word. Obviously, dumb white crackers, use that word because that's what they relate. It's like a fag is just a burning bundle
call
of
people
sticks.
fags all the time in high school.
Well,
we was
fag's a burning
just
bundle
out
of
of,
sticks.
hey, what's up, fag?
You know what's funny about that?
We wasn't meaning nothing derogatory.
So my ex-mother-in-law had this this book on translating English terminology to American terminology when you're traveling. and
Right.
words to be careful to say. And there was one, and she sent it to me in Messenger. I could forward it to you. But there was one where it said fag at the very top. And they said, do not utter this phrase. Do not ask people if they want to go outside for a fag. Do not. It does not mean the same thing. It is not a cigarette. It is a homosexual slur, and do not say it. Don't use it whatsoever.
Well, and it's
I've argued with Salty over the last few years about the meaning of words. They change.
They do,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
change.
it's sad that words have a change. I mean, again, to fuck is to hit with a small stick. I guess English guys had small dicks, and that's what they said. I don't know.
Actually, Englishmen are considered to have some of the
Actually,
largest
that is true.
penises on the planet.
You
But
were married to one, you would know.
anyway.
Yeah, but he didn't last
Somebody
very
ask
long.
your opinion, bitch.
Whoa, Buzzy. Hey, that's one of those things that
Hey,
might
I-
get yourself hurt.
I'll remember that
Hey, I
next
gotta
time I
throw the
see
words
you.
out there. Oh, now, come on, sweetie. Come on, sweetie.
Oh, yeah, honey bun.
No, I don't like that either when somebody calls my wife sweetie or something like that. No, I do. I call her sweetie. I call my daughter sweetie.
Right.
It's a
I
term
call
of
your daughter
affection
sweetie, too.
to
No, I'm
your
kidding.
wife. You call my daughter sweetie, and I'll be sticking a fag on your ass.
You know, there's another gesture too that used to be common, but I only really ever see this with European clientele.
What's
but
that?
it's men. When I'm done transacting a business, they'll grab my hand and kiss me on the hand, which is very odd to me. It's
Yeah.
happened many, many times, so I don't
I've
react
never
poorly
did
to
that.
it, but it's awkward. But for them, it's extremely normal. I mean, their wife will be sitting right there, and
maybe Southern men, not Northern.
No, I could see that like
I know.
Italian men or even like a German.
a lot of the European men
Yeah,
will
I
do
could see
that.
that.
Like it's just a normal everyday
And the
thing.
women don't think anything of it because it is just a normal
if
everyday thing.
Italian kisses on the cheek. I've heard you might as well get your business in order.
Yeah, well, you might want to get your business in order, Buzzy. I'm going to give you a kiss on the cheek soon.
Give me a kiss on the cheek, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, the cheek. That's
Yeah.
what I said, the cheek.
You can
Yeah,
continue
okay, sweetie.
bromance after the show.
All right, Buzzy. Well, I appreciate the call. Anything else, buddy?
Nope. Just see me later.
All right, brother. Peace.
Thanks for calling, sweetie.
Good old Buzzy. Yeah, fucker. Skin Biscuits, I just realized I just had you on the screen, and that was it. And they're enjoying that. Not that screen, this screen. This screen you can't see. It's all right, though. Got to make them happy where we can. I think we got into this a little bit last week, and I'm going to play it again. It's a little bit long, but I have to run and grab something. So it's giving me a moment to grab what I got to grab without taking too long of a break.
A new report found popular breakfast foods and cereals marketed to children contain a weed-killing chemical that some health authorities link to cancer. The research out this morning discovered trace amounts of glyphosate in oats, granolas, and snack bars. 31 out of 45 tested products had levels higher than what some scientists consider safe for children. Anna Werner's here with what these findings mean. Anna, good morning.
Good morning. Glyphosate is the most widely used herbicide in the country, but some scientists, doctors, and activists want it kept out of your food due to concerns that it might cause cancer. Now, one environmental group finds it may have made its way to your breakfast table.
We're very concerned that consumers are eating more glyphosate than they know.
Scott Faber has been working to improve food safety standards for more than a decade. He says the team at the nonprofit Environmental Working Group, or EWG, had a lab test 45 samples of products made with conventionally grown oats and found glyphosate, the active ingredient in the Monsanto weed killer Roundup, in all but 2.
I was shocked.
Dr. Jennifer Lowry heads the Council on Environmental Health for the American Academy of Pediatrics.
We don't know a lot about the effects of glyphosate on children, and essentially we're just throwing it at them.
EWG used its own, more stringent standards to conclude that products with excessive levels of the herbicide included Quaker Old-Fashioned Oats, Cheerios, Quaker Dinosaur Egg Instant Oats, Great Value Instant Oats, and Back to Nature Classic Granola. Glyphosate was even found in a few organic products, though most had non-detectable levels. The World Health Organization says glyphosate is a probable carcinogen. The state of California lists it as a chemical known to the state to cause cancer. Monsanto disputes that, saying in a statement glyphosate does not cause cancer and has a more than 40-year history of safe use.
And many of lawsuits and people dying of cancer.
Monsanto, a trusted company.
Yeah, let's take the advice of Monsanto, the ones making millions off of
Looking
selling
out
this.
for the health and welfare of all human beings.
That's all they care about.
Monsanto criticized EWG's research, saying even at the highest level reported, an adult would have to eat 118 pounds of the food item every day for the rest of their life in order to reach the EPA's limit for glyphosate residues.
And let's keep in mind that the director of the EPA right now is the former CEO of Monsanto, if I'm not mistaken. I might be speaking a little out of turn, but I'm pretty sure that he is, and I have that pulled up somewhere, so I will look.
Did Monsanto fail to adequately warn of the potential risks? Answer, yes.
But last week, a jury in California ordered Monsanto to pay one man $289 million in damages after he claimed the company's glyphosate weed killers caused his cancer. And EWG's Faber is skeptical of EPA's glyphosate limits.
We don't think it does enough in particular to protect children.
It is time now for them to step up and do their jobs to ban glyphosate.
Zen Honeycutt heads Moms Across America, a group formed to raise awareness about toxic exposures. Her family switched to an organic-only diet after her 3 sons developed allergies and other health problems.
Now, I know you have your issues with organics in general, honey. You know, I know there's a big difference between organic, GMO, you know, that whole way of describing foods.
Right. Well, it's difficult because even with your foods that are labeled organic and non-GMO, when I was going through the process of finding out about labeling my own products, organic products, I found in that process that technically you can just label your products organic whether they are or aren't.
Yeah, that's
there's no real way for them to go, oh, nope, definitely not organic.
Right.
You know,
that's
I
a
mean,
harder one to regulate down than a non-GMO type
right.
rating.
So it's difficult to even know, even if it has the stamp seal of approval, everything else on it, it doesn't guarantee that what you're consuming is organic whatsoever or non-GMO.
Right.
We want to trust that what is in the grocery store is safe. And the shocking reality is that in many cases, it's not.
We reached out to
And Skin Biscuits wants us to keep in mind that it's Bayer now. Monsanto is bought by Bayer. I don't know if you knew that, but I was aware of that. But it's still Monsanto. It's still the name of the company, but it is Bayer that owns it now.
Oh, also assholes.
Yeah, another group of assholes.
Yeah.
The makers of those products. In a statement, Quaker said, "We proudly stand by the safety and quality of our Quaker products. Any levels of glyphosate that may remain are significantly below any limits of the safety standards set by the EPA and the European Commission as safe for human consumption." And
safe for human consumption. Let's consume something that, in a maybe a minute higher level, might not be safe for human. But right now, we've lowered the level, so it's safe for human consumption.
That's not the only issue that Quakers had to deal with. They've dealt with the aluminum in their oatmeals as well.
It's from the chemtrails.
No, I think it's from their machinery, but
It's possible too. Well, you know, spraying heavy over that. You never know.
It's
General
seeping
Mills
through the
told us
building and
our
into the
products are
cereal.
safe, and without question, they meet regulatory safety levels. The EPA has researched this issue and has set rules that we follow.
Yeah, so I didn't see Honey Nut Cheerios or Frosted Flakes on the list, but
But they are, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, sweetie.
what should you do? Should you be looking at your cereal boxes?
No, you should just buy whatever has the cutest animal on it, you dumb bitch.
Hard. So
Yeah.
what this study sort of seems to suggest is that the organic products had much lower levels in general. Some of them did have some traces, but that they seem to have lower levels of pesticides for whatever reason. So
For whatever reason.
That's because true organic farmers don't use pesticides, you dumb bitch.
This is like journalism at its finest.
Journalists at its stupidest.
people may want to try to look to see and read some of the research themselves. It's tricky, though. It's hard to know.
Yeah, it's hard to read a box and go, I can't say that word. Maybe I shouldn't buy this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the easiest thing. I know we've laxed a little bit from where we used to be, but we did it that way at one time. If we looked at the label and we couldn't read an ingredient.
Yeah, we did an entire year straight of me buying nothing except for packaging where if I read it, I knew exactly what it was. And most of those ended up being things that were limited to 3 or 4 ingredients. It's not easy to do.
It's not easy to do. It's not cheap.
I had to stop at like 4 or 5 different places every week just to put together a grocery list.
It's not a cheap process to do. It's
time consuming. It's expensive.
It's a hassle.
Yeah,
it's hard. You want to be able to trust. This difficult. It shouldn't be this difficult. We shouldn't be adding all these different things to our foods and making them so just unhealthy. You know, the majority of the problem in this country, as far as with diabetes and overweight people right now, is their diet. They're eating empty foods. You're eating foods that don't do anything for you. They're just there to fill your gut so you don't hurt anymore. They're not healthy for you. They're not giving you anything positive.
And it's not even the food itself. It's the way it's being prepared.
Produced and prepared.
I mean, you've got all of your preservatives, and then on top of that, you're going to stick it in the microwave.
If you could cook your dinner in 5 minutes in a microwave, maybe you should change your eating habits. If you eat, fast food more than once a day, honestly, that's too much for regular fast food.
Well, even just daily isn't going to be good.
I said once a day is not good. Yeah, I mean, if you can go through your diet and you have fast food once a day,
damn,
you need to adjust it. I mean, I have fast food maybe once every 5 months.
You go out to eat like every day. So.
Yeah, but at least it's homemade product. It's not. I mean, I go to a pizza shop. He makes the dough. He makes the spaghetti sauce. It's not. I try to stick away from the shit that I know he has that isn't that great. And yeah, it's a lot of dough and fat, but who cares? It's healthy-ish. That's my new thing. Who cares? It's healthy-ish. Ish.
Strong emphasis on the ish.
Yeah, well, it's good though. At least it's good. It's enjoyable.
Okay, good for you.
Organic. Very, very tricky.
That's
Thank
the
you,
end of
Anna.
it. All right. Thank you, Anna. You
This weekend.
confused bitch.
You're calling everyone stupid.
I'm really because you know what? Half of humanity is stupid anymore, and it's really frustrating, honestly. Let's see what's on Twitch here. Bayer replaced Monsanto's signs during day 1 transition.
I came across a fun video today.
A fun video? Don't forget, Mallard Report will be out at 9 o'clock tonight on Raz Radio, the regular RazRadioLive.com. I hope you guys are enjoying the Twitch line of this. You can always go to Twitch, get the replays of the show with the video. I like the features. You can see what we're watching and stuff. What is this story? What do I have this open for?
I don't know, but I sent you a little clip.
Let me see here. Got to get over to Lexi's messenger thingy. Oh God, dude, you're driving me nuts. Oh, what is this?
Just go with it.
All right, I'll go with it.
Although, I don't know if there's just check it because I didn't really go through the whole video. That's a chick, by the way.
As long as there's no dick or anything in it.
There's not.
Or boobs.
There's not.
So that can't be on Twitch.
There
Can't put
isn't.
dick or boobs on Twitch.
There's no dick or
boobs. Or
boobs.
body fluid.
There's no body fluid.
Okay.
Well, see, they don't go over.
These are all women.
It's, I guess, pretty abnormal in this society to see a woman with a full beard. And so a lot of people assume a lot of things about me.
She can grow a better beard than I can grow.
I know. That's why I got sucked into watching it. I was like, holy shit.
It's a really bad shot. What, Buzzy?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Of course I can.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in real quick.
You know, usually when the radio station answers your call, it goes to you. Why it goes to us when we answer your call makes no sense.
Hey, what comes around goes around.
What do you want?
I just want to chime in about this fast food. As a truck driver, I eat fast food all the time, and I got a body of a god. Who cares if I look like food?
The god of fucking like meteorite or something. The god of mammoth.
What are you talking about?
You fat fuck.
Buzzy is like one sexy motherfucker.
Really, honey?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
She's in the fatty, I guess.
Hey.
What?
It's not
He's a big guy, honey.
Oh,
Big sexy
I am
guy.
a very big guy nowadays. But like I said, the fast food's good for you. It tastes good. And, hey, I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have diabetes.
Diabetes.
I think you got a lot more problems than those, Buzzy. I mean, let's be honest.
I do. I really do have a lot more problems.
All right, we're going to go back to watching your girlfriend on Twitch.
My girlfriend?
Yeah, go to Twitch. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Oh, see me later.
That was mean. So these are women with a hormonal imbalance. It's polycystic ovary syndrome.
Okay.
And it just makes hair grow pretty much everywhere like a man.
10% of all people with ovaries have polycystic ovarian syndrome. And the body hair thing's not really talked about at all.
Well, see now, all right. Let's be honest here. This is a true disease,
right? That affects 5 to 10% of all women,
right?
Where they grow facial hair like this,
right?
But there's a movement now to where they've decided to be all accepting of themselves and to stop shaving it and to just wear their faces with beards. How do you feel about that? It's their natural body.
It's their natural body doing its thing. It's presented that way. As long as, it's weird. It's weird to look at. It's not weird of them because it is what their body does. But it is weird to see because if you eliminate, if you just take that part down and just look at the nose up above the glasses, that's a semi-attractive person. Then you see the lips and it's like, ah. And it's a weird thing, and I guess I can understand accepting the physical, visible change of your body. I think when it becomes a mental adjustment or change, yeah, it is a weird thing. But it's not them trying to be outlandish for a reason. It's probably easier for them to not have to deal with. It's probably cheaper. So that's not. It's weird, but it's hard. It's acceptable.
Now, are you going to call her a her or
well,
a
it's a she? It's a she.
Okay.
Of course it is. She's not growing a beard because she went through chemical changes to be able to do that. That's a natural thing that's happening to her body, and she can't control it.
Some of these women that have short hair and they have their beards and they're not wearing makeup look like men, but they're women.
Right.
So where do you stand on that?
What was that? Boom.
No.
That's they can't control that. That's like me getting angry at.
But how do you separate these people?
Because that's a visible thing, and they're not trying to be something they're not. Whereas a transvestite or a transsexual,
something that they feel that they are.
But are they always? Because I've watched a video. Well, no,
nobody's going to go through all that shit.
I watched
for
a video.
Attention.
First of all, a lot of this shit is starting way too early. There's parents out there giving anti-puberty drugs to their kids.
That's wrong.
Okay, that's happening.
I don't agree with.
There's a story. I never shared it. It was on Facebook, and it was a transsexual actually went through transgendered to another sex because a doctor convinced him that there was something wrong with him. After he went through everything, a few years later, he went, I don't feel like this anymore, but his dick was gone. And it was a big video going through Facebook. I'll try to find it and play it for you later because I can't search for it now, but I'll try to find it. And he talked about how, think of it this way: you have you're having a bad experience in life. You're having a bad experience in life.
You getting tranny pictures?
No, Buzzy said kiss my ass, shot her ass because of that picture. You're having a bad time in life, and maybe you're not happy with where you're at. And you go to this doctor, just a regular doctor for a mental a mental balancing. And the doctor starts promoting, well, maybe you're not what you think you are. Maybe deep inside you want to be a female or male, whichever side you're on. And they keep pushing this on you.
Hormone therapy or body changes should not be able to take place until someone's at least 18 years old.
Oh, I agree, but
it shouldn't be government funded.
Even after, I agree with that too. But even after the fact,
it is a cosmetic surgery. Even if somebody does feel very strongly that they were born a woman and meant to be a man, or vice versa, it's still a cosmetic thing, and we shouldn't be funding it.
Oh, that's a true fact.
But here we are. We have a niche of people that
they can't control this problem, right?
And I get your point. And they're deciding to embrace their
There are
being
differences.
different.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying here, and this is, again, the way I tried to explain it is I don't see this as a mental disorder.
It's not a mental disorder.
That's exactly right. But I do see transgenderism, and not lesbians. I don't, and gays. I don't. When it comes to the transgender, or I want to be C-gender or Phi, whatever, where I can just feel whatever I want to feel like today or tomorrow. Maybe I want to feel like a cat. Those I don't. That's not okay. Lesbians, fine, no
like
issues.
That adult male in Canada that identifies as a 5-year-old little girl.
Right? Yeah, and she needs her bottle and diaper. No, you got a fucking mental issue. Yeah. You're lesbian. You're lesbian. I'm cool with that. All good. No problems. You know, lick a lot of puss all you want. I'm happy for you. Enjoy it. You're gay. Fine. Sausage party. Fucking enjoy it. I love it. Great. Good for you. Keep it out of mine. We're good to go. No problems. You're a female that grows a beard because that's what happens. Yeah, that used to be something we put in circuses and you made a lot of money. But hey, accept that and live your life and make your life a little easier. Cool. Great. You want to lop your dick off, or you want to feel like a cat or a dog or a monkey or a orangutan or a horse. Remember the horse video? You got mental issues. Sorry. You should feel bad about yourself.
Shut down the circus.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Nothing is fascinating or interesting anymore.
It's just
you've worn it all out.
Yeah, you know, that used to be
the freak show.
Oh, what do they call it? Avant-garde or unusual or just different. And now it's become society. We have people that are tattooing their bodies in leopard print and getting fake teeth put in and cutting half their nose off so they look like a fucking cat or a leopard or whatever. You've got the mental issue. You want to put more than one hole in your body for an earring as a male, you got an issue. Sorry. If you got a Jacob's ladder up your cock, there's something not working in your brain.
In person once, down at the same bar that we met. Do you remember that guy? He was with...
No, I never saw his cock, thanks.
He pulled it out right at the bar. I was like, what the fuck, man?
Wasn't there for the cock pulling out.
My dude, that was messed up.
I'm very happy I was not there for the cock pulling out. I got to be honest with you.
He did not care. He was like, you want to see it? And we were like, okay. Oh.
And on that note, guys, thanks for joining the first 52 tonight.
You're welcome.
We'll be back next week. Four Toad will be here with us, or Dave will be here with us. The following week, we will not be here. We have a wedding to go to in Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
The Sasquatch is getting married.
My brother.
Yeah, so we will not be here the following week. We'll see you next week, guys. Be safe. Be cool. Just be a fucking human being.
Well, that's all you can do.
Let's investigate the consequence of a bittersweet loss of sense, a weapon in a war against ourselves. The setting sun is loading guns, don't be afraid of mistakes, emotions misplaced, to love or to hate. I don't know what to do, we're all lost and confused, just trying to get through in this world. Always trying to prove that we're worth what it takes, but it takes a long time in the dirt to see grace. When I'm trying to be real, they tend to be fake. When I'm risking it all with no time to waste. Fuck this rat race, I'm leaving this place. It's time to blast off, destination space. With the sunset hung behind us and the universe to blind us from the moon, we'll watch the whole world explode. Moving free, unguided through the beautiful, the silent, with the light show from a passing UFO.
UFO, lost in the glow of the unknown. Please don't go. And I don't know how I got here or how I'm getting home, but right from day one I've been in this alone, with odds stacked against. I've been drowning in stress. They said, can you take more? I said, give me what's left. An old man once told me, Allie, don't ever look back. Keep your eyes on that prize and give them hell to your death. This is a test, just a frequency check for intelligent life. Now it's time to connect. It's an SOS, the dead's been sent. So now we just wait and hope for the best. With the sunset hung behind us and the universe to blind us from the moon, we'll watch the whole world explode. Moving free, unguided through the beautiful, the silent, with the light show from a passing UFO, lost in the glow of the unknown. Please don't go. The sunset hung behind us, in the universe to blind us from the moon. We'll watch the whole world explode. Moving free, unguided through the beautiful, the silent, with the light show from a passing UFO, lost in the glow of the unknown. Please don't go.
Listening to the First 52 on GlassRadioLive.com.
It's actually the very definition of terrorism. They're trying to kill people for a political agenda.
It's just, a nicety.
So, just keep in mind, guys, that the news agencies are not there to tell you the truth. They're there to tell you what they're told to tell you.
You're still stuck to the American dollar, and you're still stuck to American laws.
So, I still want to have the freedom to go where I want to go if I need to go. I think that's the most important thing in my mind, at least. And this goes along.
If this is going to be another cum trail, this is going to be another cum trail.
I've got lesbians and he's got cum trails.
Okay, why don't you just move along?
Animals get in the way when you're doing a radio show.
What I think is they're going to have to redirect the American's mindset.
That would have been even more fun.
Yeah, that would have been a lot of fun. I want you all to keep your eyes open and your ears open on what's going on.
It's the First 52. RazRadioLive.com.
Love you guys so much. Thanks. The First 52's the bump diggity.